Calling the special meeting of September 11th, 2023 of the Commission on the City Plan to order. We have a quorum, and at this point, I think we can seat Jason Corder as a regular member since we only have 4 regular members here. So we will have 5 people seated at this point.
Thank you.
So the business before the meeting today is City Council ordinance referral. An ordinance appropriating $199,200,000 for water pollution control facility upgrade project in the city of Norwich, authorizing the issuance of $199,200,000 revenue bonds of the city, secured solely by sewer revenue to meet said appropriation, and authorizing the city and Department of Public Utilities to enter into grant and loan agreements and a joint resolution with the state of Connecticut with respect thereto. So I guess on this matter, Chris LaRose from NPU is here. Would ask Chris if you would address this issue for us.
All right. Well, thank you very much for holding this special meeting to discuss this critical project that will be influential in improving the water quality in Norwich Harbor, the Thames River, and eventually Long Island Sound. The last major upgrades to this plant occurred in the early 1950s and the 1970s, and we've been due for an upgrade for many years. Our outstanding maintenance staff has allowed us to operate the plant and meet our discharge permits, but we have to rebuild the plant to continue to meet these requirements, and especially as the requirements get more difficult for the next 20+ years. The plant upgrade was in the previous plan of conservation and development and has been updated in the recently approved 2023 plan with new numbers and new scope. The project has been delayed for many reasons over these last 10 years, including a redesign to meet the new flood level requirements. But we have full deep support. We have bid the project, and we will be able to award the project to C.H. Nickerson for after all the approvals are complete. Construction could start as early as this fall. The project will cost approximately $200 million, and we're expecting a 36% grant for it, thanks to Senator Austin and a very cooperative deep staff. We're also working on gaining additional funds. We have we also have approval already from the Norwich Public Utilities Sewer Authority, and we held a public information session in the first reading with the council last Tuesday. With your approval, we will hold a public hearing and council vote next Monday. We also have our technical experts from CDM Smith and staff with Craig Wagner and Larry Sullivan, among others, to answer any questions that are more detailed than I can answer as well. So are there any questions from the committee?
Are there any questions from any of the members of the commission to Chris or any of the technical staff regarding this upgrade project?
I do not have any.
I would just say to the commission that Chris is correct. It's in our existing plan is actually the 2013 plan right now. The new plan doesn't go into effect until September 15th. And I would say if you were to anyone was to make a motion with a favorable referral, and that's what the motion would be, you would state the reasons on the record, and these would be such reasons that are in our existing plan, which are maintaining adequate community facilities. And that's, I think, really the major portion that's important to say, that this is an upgrade that needs to get done. So I just wanted to let you know that that's kind of what you would use as your support for if you wanted to make a favorable recommendation. That's my only comment, Frank.
Okay. Anybody have questions for Chris or the technical people?
Hi, this is Dean Nason. My only question is, where the fall start, what would the time frame of the construction be?
So it's all likelihood about 5 years to complete the construction to substantial completion. And some of these items are long lead term items, and we also have to rebuild a plant around an existing operating plant. So I think 4 to 5 years is reasonable. 5 years is probably the most expected timeframe.
Okay.
Chris, it's
And
my.
I have one more question. The design had future increase in population and usage rolled into that, I'm assuming. And how?
Yes, we have about 2 million gallons of extra capacity in the new plant per day.
Okay.
So Chris, you indicated that about $36 million was going to be paid for through grants from the state.
Yes, it's this is done through the Clean Water Fund. We have 36.4, I think, grant number. It's right around that number.
It's exact number.
It's the right. That's the exact number, 36.4%, and that is free money from the state. The rest is going to be 2% loan over 20 years. Working with the Clean Water Fund for that. We're also working with additional grants to maybe lower that down money down the road. But Senator Austin's been very supportive. She gave us an extra 5% on this project, and we're going to be looking to the governor's office and some of our people in Washington to help out a little more.
And the bond itself will be paid for solely through revenues from the sewer operations.
Yeah, so our sewer ratepayers, our customers, will be paying for this over the 20 years, and we have rates that are being put in place, hopefully voted in September, to keep this moving forward. It's likely that the board will approve those rates for sewer, since they have approved the sewer plant, and they are aware that we'll be getting roughly a 12% rate increase for the next 5 years for this.
And just to clarify for myself and anybody else, these upgrades are required by DEEP.
So the typical sewer plant upgrades happen every 20 years. We're working on 50. So this is something that's long overdue. Right now, we are meeting state permit. These upgrades are required to continue to meet state permit. We will not be able to meet those numbers. We'll be reducing our nitrogen load significantly, and the equipment, which has been rebuilt and maintained, over since the 70s for the last major upgrade, is really long past the end of its useful life. We have 3 digesters. One has been replaced with a Kevlar roof. The other 2 are leaking and are in concern of actually collapsing, because it's been 40-year-old steel or 50-year-old steel on top of a very corrosive environment. We really need to get this done as soon as possible.
So basically, for the Department of Public Utilities to maintain proper service and environmentally safe service for the city of Norwich, we need to have these upgrades done. Yes,
we were expecting these to be happening, roughly 7 years ago. We had to redesign the plant because of the increased higher level flood requirements that were put in place by DEEP when they changed their regulations and requirements. Significant upgrade, had to approve the design through DEEP, and now we have received the bid from C.H. Nickerson. We're ready to go. What we need is board approval, council approval, city commission on the city plan approval, and then final blessing of the DEEP wastewater department. We're ready to go to make this happen this fall.
Good, thanks, Chris. Does anybody else have questions?
I've got a question for you, Chris. I've heard that once you remove the old plant, you'll be putting in solar panels.
So that's down the road, and during the construction, we're gonna be doing a lot of excavation. There are 3 major clarifiers that are gonna be installed, as well as a lot of other earthwork that needs to be done. All that earthwork goes up on top of the existing landfill in the back part or the northern part of the Hollyhock Island. And when all that fill is up there, it will then be sealed to today's dump, waste dump standards. So it'll be appropriate for something like a solar farm. In 5 years, we'll be looking at the cost benefits of solar, and there's nothing else we're going to be putting up on that property. So it's a perfect site for a future solar project. That's not part of this $200 million expansion, but it is the next phase if everything looks supportive in 5 years for that business.
Right, thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Does anybody else have any questions? Right, hearing none, does anybody want to make a motion concerning the referral of this matter to the city council?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, and can we have a formal wording for the motion?
Yes,
For the record, please.
yes, I'll make a motion for a favorable referral to city council for the upgrade to the pollution control facility to maintain adequate community facilities, and it is in line with our existing plan.
Of conservation and development.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the formal motion. Did you make a second,
I'll
Joe?
second that motion, yes.
So is there any discussion at this point of the motion? Hearing none, then I'll put it to a vote. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Okay, so the motion carries unanimously for a favorable referral to the city council.
So Chairman, at this point, under other business, I am going to ask us to go into executive session. I would like to ask that you invite Attorney Michael Driscoll, Dan Deniska, and myself to be included in the executive session about pending litigation. At this point, we would turn off the cameras, turn off the recording, and then we'll put the time down that we go in, and then we'll come out of executive session and adjourn after that.
Okay, so I have a question. How are we gonna do it if we have no cameras?
We can, it just won't be in recording.
Right.
It won't be recording.
So it just, the recording will be turned off.
Yes.
Okay, so can we have a motion to go into executive session to discuss pending
Well-
litigation?
I think we want everyone else to sign off first.
Yes, all right. Well, I was just waiting for an opportunity to say thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it. And this is a project that is going to make Norwich a better place to live, work, and do business. It's going to clean up the harbor and help the odors and everything downtown. So much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you, everybody.
we have a motion at this point.
I'll make a motion that we go into executive session for the reasons that Deanna mentioned.
And to invite
And to
Attorney
invite-
Driscoll, Deanna, and Dan Deniska
That's
to
correct.
participate.
Yes.
Okay, can we have a second?
I'll
Second that
second.
motion.
We have a motion and second to go into executive session.
Was that Ella for the second?
I'm sorry?
Was it Ella that we're counting as the second on that?
Yeah, I heard Ella.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No, so, okay, so I'm just gonna close the door here.
Yeah, and Dan, turn the recording back.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mike. So we're out of executive session. We're back on the record, and I guess we can have now a motion to adjourn our special meeting.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn our special meeting.
So there's a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Jim Cordo, second by Ella Miles to adjourn the special meeting at 12:30 p.m. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.